plans to develop strategies for effectively utilizing real estate, mortgages, and related financial products to achieve a more secure financial future. For the real estate investor or the home buyer, he's able to provide expertise in matching the right properties and financing with your specific financial objectives. This show is dedicated to helping you find the safe and simple
arrangement today, huh?
Income-producing real estate. If you have any questions about the program or to arrange a consultation, call toll-free 888-595.
And hello, South Florida. Welcome to the Monday edition of the Real Estate Show, South Florida's #1 program about real estate and America's longest running daily radio show, all about the topic of real estate. My name is Eric Willner, and I am here, and I am your host. We are here live Monday through Friday. That's 5 days a week. 5 days a week live at 5 p.m. Hopefully you'll join us each and every weekday afternoon. One of the 5 different ways that you can find us: on the AM station 1470, on the FM 96.9, 95.3, on the apps. If you download one of the free mobile apps for your mobile smart device, you can download the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn app, the radio.com app, and so forth. And that way you can listen to a radio station, literally almost any radio station that is on these networks, like the iHeartRadio network. If you look for WWNN 1470 Money Talk Radio, for example, you'll find it on any one of those apps. You can also find us the fourth way on our website. Always reliable. Always go to automaticlandlord.com. You can listen to us live there. If you miss us at 5, you can always listen to us on demand at that website. Just go to the top of the page, click on the Real Estate Radio Show notes, and in each one of the notes, you'll see embedded, you'll see the link to the recording of that day's show. And you can even download the podcast version and take us with you offline. So then the fifth and final way is you can watch and listen to the radio show on our Facebook page. Just go to facebook.com/The Real Estate Show. And you can listen to us and participate. Be one of our regular listeners and watchers, or viewers, I guess you should say, like Felipe, who's on right now, and Simone, who's on right now, and a whole bunch of others that are on there. I enjoy this way because I get a chance to interact, see who's listening, and during the breaks, we also interact a little bit offline. So here we are. It's the end of the year. Do you have your goals set up, whether it be your New Year's resolutions, more accurately, your SMART goals is what you should have? Have you taken advantage of the last couple of weeks to really put in the perspective? Number one, how'd you do in 2021? Did you accomplish what you expected? Did you fall short? Did you exceed your expectations? And were you surprised at all? I'm going to tell you that we spent a bit of that time here in the office. I personally spent a good amount of time getting up extra early in the wee dark hours, pre-dawn, where I can really focus and pay attention to nothing else than what I'm trying to do and what I hope to do, what my goals, what my ambitions are in all aspects of life, from business to real estate to personal to family, financial, personal development, all of those areas, because you want to have well-rounded goals. And so, as I was doing that one morning, I had sort of this aha idea for a radio show that we could talk about. And that is, how important are your goals? Did you spend the time, for example? I've been kind of, dropping these hints of use these last 2 weeks and so forth. And I like to, with each one of our coaching clients, with my regular consulting clients, we take some time and have this one-on-one conversation. And I'll tell you, I'll invite you, if you're interested in having that one-on-one consultation, then I'll invite you to go either to our Facebook page, The Real Estate Show, or go to Automatic Landlord. Both places, there's a place for you to book a free consultation. And this is about your goals, not about anything else. This is going to be a conversation. And in the comments, you can write in, this is for goals. And no cost, no obligation. It's not selling anything, not buying anything, not doing anything. But the most important thing is answering the question is, how important are your goals? And so to that effect, this week I wanted to spend a little bit of time. Last week we talked about the technology trends that are going to really make an impact in 2022. If you missed any or all of those shows, then I definitely recommend going back. Go to our website at Automatic Landlord and go and listen to the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday editions where we talked about the technological mega trends. Now, this week, I'm going to talk about off technology, although there'll be some technology conversations in there, but what to expect in the housing market for 2022. Can you believe we're even saying that? 2022. And between inflation, which we have talked an awful lot about, between the supply chain, challenges that we're having and will continue to have, between the higher prices, it's going to be a tough market for the average home buyer. One of the things I hope we have time to get to is that I have this access to this software that prints out a report card for your area. So all I have to do is put in the zip code, and for example, let me see if I still have mine up from earlier on this one. I have a report card for here it is, for my zip code, which is the 33308. So any of you listeners that are listening in the same zip code, check out some of this information and tell me if this wouldn't be very useful to have at your fingertips. Number one, what's the median home price? Now, remember, I live on the east side of Fort Lauderdale. And so the median home price, that means half sell for less than this amount and half sell for above this amount, and some well above. But the median home price is $829,369, which is a median price per square foot of $196, which actually, when you think about that, is not that bad. It's not that bad. I know that our listeners from California going $196 a square foot. That would be nice. That would be very nice. Here's some other data, and then I'm going to jump into the main topic of our show this week, which of course is what to expect. But check this out. Appreciation. Wouldn't it be nice to know the appreciation? And when we have this conversation about goals and what you're trying to achieve, particularly in the area of real estate, wouldn't it be nice to know what your historical trends, because that will set the stage for what's realistic to expect in the future? And why not have some expert projections for the forecast coming up, the 1 year, the 5 year? So for example, in this zip code that I mentioned, the 62-year average appreciation. So it goes to show you that how undervalued and underdiscovered Florida was 50 years ago, right? And that's not that big of a surprise when you think about it. Florida has really had its comeuppance in the last 20 years, particularly in the last 10 years. So 62-year historical appreciation was just under 4%, believe it or not. Then you see it start to gather steam. In the last 10 years, it was 5.5% average appreciation. And only in the last 5 years, it was almost 6.7%. So bumping up on the 7%. You hear me talk about how Florida and the Sun Belt states are between 5 and 7%. There's your evidence. And here's a little futuristic forecast. They're expecting the 1 year appreciation in this zip code, and I'm happy to tell you what it is in yours. If you book that one-on-one talk about your goals, I want to know that people out there setting goals for 2022, and they're not just drifting through this whole pandemic thinking that they're out of control, because you are absolutely in control if you take control. So the 1 year forecast appreciation in this zip code is 9.66%. In other words, we'll just call it 10%. So that means that the person who owns a median priced home in this area, $829,000, will experience probably an $83,000 appreciation addition to their wealth over the next year. Over the next 5 years, it's expected to be 30.31%. So it's an average of 6%. So you're going to see 10% next year, and then we're going to probably give it back a little bit. Remember, the real estate market never goes straight up. And the averages, as you can see, the average over 10 years, 5.5%, makes a lot of sense. So those are the appreciation numbers. So imagine if I was making a plan, my goals of acquiring a certain amount of property, hoping to have a certain amount of wealth by the time I retire on that certain planned date, not by accident. And then I can also forecast the growth in rents, my growth in prices, etc. The 5-year gain was $251,000, $250,000 only for owning, let alone whatever they made in whatever they did, whatever their profession was. If they had a median home, their gain was $251,000 or $250,000. And so a couple of other things. Inventory in this zip code, 8 properties, homes for sale. Year over year, the inventory is down 16%. Wouldn't that be nice to know? What's the forecast? Month over month, down another 2%. The demographics, the majority of the people here, looking at the majority of the demographics, believe it or not, in the 30 to 35 year old range. Well, no, not the majority, but the largest number is in that particular range. But there's another interesting thing, and this one, and then I'm going to jump off into our topic for the week. The population in this county here is 1.93 million is the population, of which 760,000, just a little bit over 750,000 of them are renters. Okay, so it's less than half. The percentage of homeowners here, which is typical, is usually about 60-some%, are homeowners in this area, of which of the renters, though, about a quarter of them are can afford to purchase. So there's this potential of about almost 200,000 people who can afford to buy here. But now watch this little statistic. And this is where the magic of this report card and this analysis really starts to make sense. I gave you the forecasted appreciation. I gave you the median price. I gave you I gave you $250,000 reason why people who've lived here for the last 5 years have done very, very well. Household formations in this county now, 24,000 new household formations. And those are typically based on the 25 to 35-year-old population. That's why that was highlighted. The first-time home purchases out of the 27, first-time home purchase is about 14.9. Okay, so about half of the house formations are going to be first-time home buyers. 14,000 homes are going to be demanded in this zip code. How many are being built? 4,000. Demand? 15,000. New inventory? 4,000. What does that tell you? And how does that support what I just said before about what the big trends are going to be. Now, I got a whole bunch more. And when we have that one-on-one conversation, I'll pull up the report card for your area or for the area that you want to invest in. Doesn't matter. This is that call. If you text the word buy to 561-861-2366, that's 561-861-2366. We'll reach out to you. Otherwise, you can go to our Facebook page and you can make book an appointment there. It's absolutely free, no obligation. Go to our website at Automatic Landlord, same place. There's a link for you to be able to do it. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a quick break first, and then when we come back, I'm going to talk to you about these trends, what to expect in 2022 as we now coast downhill, finishing out 2021. And I just gave you enough ammunition to be very, very excited about 2022. Anyway, you're listening to The Real Estate Show. My name is Eric Willner. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back. Hey, Merry Christmas, Felipe. Speaking about, look, this is my Merry Christmas shirt. One of my Christmas gifts. So I figured I'd wear it on the radio today. That even sounds funny, right? Hey, Leslie. Just because you did that, and I won't be able to do that for everybody if everybody jumps on that wagon, but I'm going to pull up yours really quick. I'm really glad you did that. And let's see here. Let's see if I can swap out the zip code quick enough. 33409. Gotta keep track of, make sure I don't miss this.
Interviews, upcoming
okay,
events,
33409
on a regular basis on our Facebook page.
Palm Beach County.
Let's make it really exciting. We want your input, your comments, and your likes. And that will help us make both the Real Estate Show and our Facebook page.
I'm looking at everything. Similar situation.
At facebook.com/
a little bit more moderate, but believe it or not, cost per square foot actually higher than over here. Cool.
If you have any questions about the broadcast, call toll free 888-595-7779. That's 888-595-7779.
And welcome back. For those of you just joining us here on the Real Estate Show, here in our Mondays on a Mission edition of the Real Estate Show. And I was just sharing before the real estate report card for my zip code. And on our Facebook, I was just talking to one of our viewers on our Facebook Live, who then put in their zip code. So, Leslie, I'm going to show you yours. This is in Palm Beach County. Now, the last one was in Broward County. This is for the 33409 zip code. The median home price there, $247,000. Interestingly, the price per square foot is actually higher than what we just saw. So these are obviously lower price, but smaller homes. So the price per square foot, $198 per square foot. The 62-year historical appreciation, 4.28%, just a smidge lower. The 10-year, 6.67. So it's actually had a faster. It's gaining acceleration is what the chart would show, because you've got slower long way back, but the short term is actually faster growth than the county that I just did. 10 years, 6.67. Basically 7%, and the 5-year is 7.3%. So you can see it's picking up speed. Now, next year, believe it or not, it's looking to slow down a little bit, and I can tell exactly already why. The forecast for the appreciation is still a hefty 9%, so 1% or so less than the last county. The 5-year appreciation will be about 28.5%, a smidge lower then so you're still seeing the 5-year gain for anyone who owned that house. They've gained $70,000 just for owning a median priced house there. Affordability is a challenge there. Household formations in that zip code in that county, 16,000. First time home purchases, 10,000. So a higher percentage of those household formations are expected to become first-time home buyers, which, by the way, remember, we have our Fearless First-Time Home Buyer webinar coming up on January 11th. That's a free workshop, but you reserve your spot by texting DPA for down payment assistance and the home buyer assistance for first-time home buyers to 561-861-2366. Now, here's the thing again. Right, first-time home buyers are gonna number about 10,500 people are going to want to be first-time home buyers, and the actual homes being built right now, 5,190. So there's 2 fearless first-time home buyers on their way looking for one house. What will that twice the demand for the supply? 1.5 million is the total population, 537,000 renters, of which, again, about 20 to 25% can afford to buy. The unemployment rate, by the way, is only 4% in that area. I'm looking at the chart for the affordability index, which went down, but it's plateauing, and that's good news. The total employment, which took that dip back in during the COVID, and it's now got a nice curve up. The median household income, $72,000, which is, by the way, higher than in the previous zip code, and that's compared to the national average of 57,000. So I did that for Lisseline because she put her zip code in our conversation during the break, but the offer and the information is available to you. All you have to do is text the word buy, B-U-Y, to 561-861-2366. And I'll be happy to share that information for you. And I want to now jump over to our conversation that I started in the beginning of the show. And that is what to expect from the housing market in 2022. Which is now less than a week away. A week away from today will be January the 3rd when we kick off the next Monday show. But here's the deal. The last 22 months have been some of the wildest in real estate history as COVID-19. And I was teasing somebody yesterday who might have experienced the new Omicron, but they tested, and the COVID-19 test, the original COVID-19 doesn't necessarily detect the Omicron. So I said, well, you got COVID-22 that they're calling COVID-19. Anyway, terrible joke. The fact of the matter is that the pandemic accelerated the speed and the intensity of recent trends. And we've been talking about that and backing up those conversations with the facts and with the trends. So home prices have now surged in the last year to record-breaking highs. For all those people who thought back in 2011, okay, that's 10 years ago, that when we were at near the lows, that we had a 15-year overhang, that prices would be depressed for the next 15 to 20 years. Some people saying, look at us now, as the real estate market would say, how do you like me now? Home prices surged, and amongst it all, the new era of online home buying emerged, and selling took further root. So on top of that, just about every contemporary macroeconomic trend, from inflation to supply chain woes to labor shortages, made an appearance in 2021. And that also highlighted, accentuated, put a spotlight on the advantages that existing homeowners had, the daunting challenge in the coming year for prospective home buyers, and ultimately further widening the wealth inequality if you want to call it that, in the United States. You know, the difference between the haves and the have-nots, which is why I always say you want to be in real estate, not on real estate, because the people in real estate, you saw the benefits. I gave you the numbers in two different zip codes, and this is very similar across the board. So no one can exactly predict what the next year is going to bring, but we've got the goods. So stay tuned. Join us each and every day, 5 days a week this week. We're going to talk about the year ahead, what to expect, where to expect it. And why am I telling you this? Because you want to be where the hockey puck is going to be, not where it is now. And that's the secret here on the Real Estate Show. So we'll join you same place, same time tomorrow. Until then, this is your host, Eric Willner, signing off. Drive safe and make it a great day. Bye-bye. That went by fast.
Thanks for listening to The Real Estate Show, brought to you by Capital One Group
Thank you, sir.
LLC in Boca Raton. Eric Wilson and Capital One Group LLC are available to your financial needs. If you have any questions about today's program or to consultation, call toll free at 888.
So, adios, YouTube.